The Book of Helaman.
An account of the Nephites, their wars, conflicts, and disagreements, as well as the prophecies of many holy prophets before Christ's coming, according to the record of Helaman the son of Helaman, and according to the records of his sons, up to Christ's coming. In addition, many of the Lamanites are converted, an account of their conversion, describing the righteousness of the Lamanites and the wickedness and abominations of the Nephites, etc.
Chapter 1.
At the start of the 40th year of the judge's rule over the Nephite, a serious problem arose among the Nephite. Pararon died and departed this earth. A serious fight began between the brothers, Pararon's sons, about who would occupy the judgment seat. Now the names of those fighting for the judgment seat were Pararon, Paankai, and Pecumeni. This resulted in the people fighting. Now the fighting didn't involve all Pararon's sons, since he had many, but these were the ones competing for the judgment seat. This caused 3 divisions of the people. Nevertheless, Pararon was chosen by the people's vote to be the chief judge and governor over the Nephite. And Pacumeni, when he saw he would lose the judgment seat, joined with the vote of the people. But Paankai and his supporters who wanted him to be governor were disappointed and angry. Therefore he actively planned to lead people in a rebellion against their fellow Nephites. As he was planning this, he was captured, tried under the approved law, and was sentenced to death, because he planned a rebellion and attempted to destroy the people's liberty. When his supporters for the governorship learned he was sentenced to death, they were so angry that they assigned a person named Kishkumen to go to Pararon's judgment seat to murder him. He was chased by Pararon's servants, but Kishkumen's escape was so quick no one caught him. And he returned to those who sent him, and they all made a covenant swearing by their everlasting Maker they wouldn't tell anyone Kishkumen had murdered Pararon. Therefore Kishkumen remained unknown to the Nephite, since he had been disguised when he murdered Pararon. Kishkumen and his gang, who covenanted with him, blended in with the people so well that not all of them were identified, but all those who were identified were sentenced to death. Now Pecumeni was elected by the people's vote to be the chief judge and governor over the people, replacing his brother Pararon, following the right of succession. And all this occurred in the 40th year of the judge's rule, and the year ended. In the 41st year of the judge's rule, the Lamanite gathered an innumerable army of men equipped with swords, scimitars, bows, arrows, helmets, breastplates, and a variety of shields. They attacked the Nephite. Their leader was named Coriantumr, a descendant of Zarahemla. He was a Nephite defector, and was a large, powerful man. Therefore the Lamanite king, named Tubaloth, the son of Amoron, trusted that Coriantumr, being so powerful, could take on the Nephite. He believed that by sending so strong and wise a leader he could defeat the Nephite. Therefore he aroused the anger of his people, assembled an army, appointed Coriantumr as their leader, and sent them marching to war against the Nephite in Zarahemla. Because the Nephite had been distracted by internal conflict and fighting for control of the government, they neglected to keep enough guards for Zarahemla, thinking the Lamanite wouldn't dare attack the great city of Zarahemla in the heart of their lands. But Coriantumr led his large army and attacked the city, and their attack was so sudden there wasn't any time for the Nephite to assemble their armed forces. Therefore Coriantumr cut down the guards by the city entrance and led his whole army right into the city. They killed everyone who opposed them, taking control of the entire city. Pecumeni, who was the chief judge, ran from Coriantumr to the city wall. Coriantumr killed him against the wall, ending Pecumeni's life. When Coriantumr realized he not only held the city of Zarahemla, but that the Nephite had run away, were killed, captured, and thrown into prison, and he had overtaken the strongest fortification in the whole land, he was so confident that he prepared to conquer the whole land. So he didn't pause in Zarahemla, but quickly marched a large army directly to the city of Bountiful. He was determined to act quickly and cut his way through with the sword, planning to take the entire north part of the land. Because he mistakenly believed their greatest strength was in the center of the land, he immediately attacked, not giving them any time to gather their defense except in small companies. By quickly attacking them in small companies he cut them down. But Coriantumr's campaign through the center of the land gave Moronihah a great advantage, despite the many Nephite who were killed. Moronihah thought the Lamanite would never dare to attack the center of the land, but that they would invade cities along the border, as they had always done before. Therefore Moronihah positioned their strongest armed forces to protect the border, away from the center. But the Lamanite weren't afraid to attack the center, as he had hoped. Instead, they surprisingly invaded the center of the land and captured the capital, the city of Zarahemla, and were attacking throughout the center of the land, slaughtering the people, men, women, and children, and overtaking many cities and fortresses. But when Moronihah realized this, he immediately dispatched Lehi with an army on a route to intercept them before they reached Bountiful. He intercepted them before they reached Bountiful, and successfully attacked, forcing their retreat. Moronihah intercepted them in their retreat and fought them in a very bloody battle, costing many lives. Coriantumr was one of those who were killed. Then the Lamanite couldn't retreat in any direction, not to the north, south, east, or west, since they were surrounded on every side by the Nephite. Coriantumr had put the Lamanite into the middle of the Nephite, clearly vulnerable to the Nephite, and he had been killed. So the Lamanite surrendered to the Nephite. Moronihah retook Zarahemla, and the Lamanite prisoners left peacefully. And the 41st year of the judge's rule ended. In the 42nd year of the judge's rule, after Moronihah re-established peace between the Nephite and Lamanite, no one occupied the judgment seat. So the people debated who would fill the position. Helaman, who was the son of Helaman, was elected by the people's vote. But Kishkumen, who had murdered Pararon, set a trap to kill Helaman as well. He was supported by his gang, who had made a covenant to keep their murderous conspiracy secret. A man named Gadianton led Kishkumen's gang, and he was persuasive, careful in planning killings and robbery, and very cunning in protecting the gang. He promised them if they would place him in the judgment seat, Kishkumen and other gang members would be appointed to positions of power and authority. Therefore Kishkumen planned to kill Helaman. An official loyal to Helaman spied on the gang the night the murder was planned, knew of the plan, and met Kishkumen on his way to kill Helaman on the judgment seat. He gave Kishkumen a sign he was a gang member, and so Kishkumen explained his purpose, and asked him to take him to the judgment seat so he could murder Helaman. After Helaman's loyal official heard all of Kishkumen's secret plans about the planned murder and how gang members intended to murder, rob, and rise to power as the objective of their conspiracy, then Helaman's loyalists said to Kishkumen, "I'll take you to the judgment seat." Now that really pleased Kishkumen, because he thought he would accomplish his plan. But Helaman's servant, as they were going to the judgment seat, stabbed Kishkumen in the heart, and he fell dead without a groan. And he ran and told Helaman everything he had seen, heard, and done. Helaman sent out forces to arrest this gang of robbers and secret assassins, so they could be executed according to the law. But when Gadianton saw Kishkumen didn't return, he was afraid he might be killed. So he led his gang and they quickly fled the land in secret, entering the wilderness. As a result, when Helaman sent out forces to arrest them, they were nowhere to be found. You'll learn more about this Gadianton later. And so the 42nd year of the judge's rule ended. At the end of this book, you'll learn Gadianton ultimately caused the overthrow, and almost caused the entire annihilation of the Nephite. Now I don't mean the end of the book of Helaman, but I mean the end of the record of Nephi, from which I've taken the entire account written here.